welcome to the IAG Thursday Thing. This thing that we do every Thursday, sometimes we have to do it twice. So, long story short, we had a great show planned today. We were in the middle of doing a great show, and then we ran into some massive technical difficulties. This time were not on us. Completely not on us. Okay? So...
Still hurts.
Still, man, it hurts. It hurts you right in the feels. Okay, big feels, big hurts. So, either way, hopefully we can do that again. Because there was some good stuff that came up on that.
Yes,
and we'll have to bring it back up. We'll have to do it again. Again, brutal is what it is. What are you gonna do? But I am joined by my homie. My partner in crime, Warranty. Warranty, how you doing?
I am okay. I've had some misadventures on Tinder, but can't complain overall. It's just how it goes. I'm just new to the game. I'm learning the game.
It's what happens. What are you gonna do? So either way, right. We had a little conversation before we tried to start the other episode that failed miserably. That was actually turning into kind of an entertaining conversation.
Yeah.
You had misadventures on Tinder. I got to go hang out in Miami for the weekend.
Why'd you go to Miami for the weekend?
Me and my wife had a wedding anniversary.
Wedding anniversary. Congratulations.
And it was great. And so we went to Miami. We got a cute little hotel down on South Beach, and we used Turo to rent a car. And
what did you rent?
I love using Turo. Okay, by the way, so everybody's aware, I'm a big fan of Turo. You can get all sorts of weird and interesting vehicles that you wouldn't normally think about purchasing. But if you always wanted to try something out, to me, I think it's by far the best way to go check out something before you buy it and actually see how you would kind of really live with it, or your quirks and whatever. So I rented, it's hard to find cars that are manual on Turo. So one of the first things I do, especially in big areas, I will make one of the filters manual and just start from there, because you're only going to get 10 of them if you're lucky. And one of the cars that was on there was a 2014 Porsche Boxter base. And it was...
That's a 981?
That was a 981.
Okay. How many miles on it?
With a 6-speed. It was 80-some thousand miles. It's had some miles. It's been used. You know what I mean? And that's what you're going to get a lot of those on Turo, right? So rented this car, thinking, this will be fun to throw around a little bit. I've rented S2000s off of there. I've rented random Audis, stuff like that. Never rented a Porsche. This was, and I got it for under $100 a day.
Oh, wow. In Miami, not bad at all.
In Miami, it was cheap. I was pretty stoked about it. So that's what we picked up. And Warranty, my guy, I gotta be real.
Yeah.
The car was fucking perfect. So good! It's so good! It's so good!
Man, it hurts to hear it because it's not a Subaru.
All the right noises. Everything's where it's supposed to be. You just sit in the car, and everything's where it needs to be. And I was really worried this thing was going to be soulless. It was the furthest thing from it. It had a great sound. Wow. The tops down were in Miami, the radio was great. The shifter feel was great. It's the best cable operated shifter I've ever used in my life, by the way.
Cable operated shifter. I don't think I'd ever hear you say that.
Back. It's phenomenal. Everything about it's good. Okay. So,
wow.
It really got me start to think, and one of the reasons I wanted to rent this is I hear a lot of people talking about the BRZ. It's a they call it a baby Cayman, and the person whose opinion I hold highest in that regard, because I believe they have the right to say this, is the former owner of Subi Speed and FT86 Speed Factory, who sold the company for a whole pile of money and has now all sorts of fun, ridiculous cars to play with. Every form of Porsche you can think of, Lamborghinis, all sorts of shit. Okay, so this guy is a car lover, and that's Jeremy Boysen. And Jeremy Boysen was huge in saying it's a baby Cayman. That's what it feels like. And I wanted to understand that, so it was one of the reasons that I rented this. And I get it now. I 100% get it now.
And it's just a base model. Like, it's the lowest Porsche.
The base model. The only thing I wish it had was an extra 50 horsepower. And that's what the S would have. So, not gonna lie, me and the wife, we're looking at them. Okay? But, oh my God! Oh my God! Who it's Dewey is a Tesla guy. Are you high? Smeedia is in the chat calling me a Tesla guy? You can F right off.
Oh gosh.
You spelled Corvette wrong. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm serious. I've been like closet peeking at Corvettes lately too. Man, I want nothing else but a 981 Cayman S right now with a manual.
Dewey, you know what you need? I need to come visit you with my brand new BRZ TS. I need to put some good tires on it, and we need to put this to bed because you can't be in love with a Porsche. It's just not right. It's like
they both got flat engines.
Subarus. Yeah, but it needs to be a Subaru.
I'll be the
Dewey's
first.
Heart.
Real talk. When they say baby Cayman, I always looked at that as almost like, I did a lot of research over the weekend and like the differences and stuff of all these vehicles, but I looked at that almost as, well, why isn't it a baby something else? Like a Cayman is some sort of derogatory term. No, a Cayman is phenomenal. A Boxster is phenomenal. And calling a BRZ a baby Cayman is, I get where that's coming from now. Having driven, numerous newer BRZs, my own personal BRZ that's, modified all the hell. The chassis is really, really good and feels like it needs more horsepower. It's that good. Like, I get it now. I get why they're saying that, and that's fair.
That's not overselling it, do you think?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not.
Wow.
And like, it goes the other way. If you like the way a BRZ handles, but you're looking for a more upscale BRZ, you seriously should be looking at a Cayman or a Boxster. Okay. Like, it goes both ways. But with that stated, they are, if I were to build a race car, I'd still do it, and I still plan on it. I'm going to turn my BRZ into a GLTC car. Like, in this really strange way, I'm almost more excited about it now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, because you have a street car that's gonna fill your needs.
Yeah.
And you can turn this into a hard-boiled race car. Okay.
Now, what Adam just posted in the chat, he's like, hear me out. Second gen BRZ, Harop supercharger turn and wheel horsepower would still be sub. I would be very interested to drive that. What I am going to tell you, and I don't want anybody to feel bad about this because these cars are great, but it isn't going to sound the same. And part of that, you're spending double the money minimum, even to get into a used one so you're looking at 50, 55 for the one you want. Okay. Versus a new BRZ, which is going to set you back 35. You know what I mean? Maybe almost 40. That extra bit of money, it's not much faster. Okay, I want to be very clear. Is it faster? Absolutely. Is it like night and day faster? No. And you have to work to get to the speed. If you're buying that car because you want a fast car, you're doing it wrong. It's not a fast car. Okay, there are much faster cars for the money. You're buying it because of the whole experience. And if the one downside to a BRZ is the sound, and that's something that is not a problem in this car.
It's not perfect. You
Everything
used
else
perfect a lot in that Porsche description.
It's so good. No, the thing is, for me, that would be like, I don't mind working for the speed a little bit. Like it's so much faster than human beings need on the street. Okay. But the reality of it is, so is a newer base model BRZ. Like a base BRZ is not a slow car. Like,
It
I
is
don't know
right
if
on the
anybody's
edge.
done it yet. I don't know if it's been done yet, but I have a hard time believing a stock new BRZ couldn't turn like a high 13 and a quarter.
I wonder, especially if it had like a Cobb tune with the nice traction control from Mike McGuinness.
Oh yeah,
Probably get off the line.
You leave, but if you could just drive the damn thing right, I bet you could, and I guarantee a tuned one could do it no problem.
Yeah, I could see that.
It is German, so the interior quality goes up. But I got to be real, the new BRZ, it isn't as far behind as you would think. You know, but
not perfect. That's for sure.
I will say the older BRZs, you get all the chassis and everything else you want, but man, the interior is very 90s. Right? It ain't great. If you're looking for high quality interior, it's a very functioning interior. But it's not some, like, you will at no point will you say this is really nice.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to come down and visit you, man. You're gonna have to drive my BRZ TS. I'll have the camber bolts put in the front, so have a little bit of camber. Yeah, it's got nice dampers. I've been able to tell the difference finally between the base model BRZ and the new TS. Yeah, and Brembos are great. Brembos are Brembos. You know, there's nothing really to write home about. They're better, but it's not life changing. And yeah, and it's red. It looks gorgeous. I got a lot of compliments from regular people, Tinder dates. They love the red car. So I would like to sharpen up the handling, though, just a little bit on the front end, like that steering. If I could get it to be a razor blade on the front, life would be good.
Well, and I think one of the things that's exactly what you get out of even a base model Cayman. Some of that I think is tire. Okay. And it's they can get away with some shit that they can't get away with in a BRZ. If you were to just but with that stated, you can do that. You can do that with a BRZ.
Yeah.
Like the whole time I was driving that, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking, how could I do this with a BRZ?
Oh, okay. That's good to know. You tell me.
I think you can, but it's going to take a different type of effort. Okay, I think you can make a flawless driver car, and power isn't the thing that's going to make it happen. Don't get me wrong.
This is
a little more horsepower would help.
It's not just a hard-boiled race car. You're going to make it that street OEM plus type feel.
Yeah, I think the play would be getting suspension correct would be the big one. I don't think you'd want to change. I think Fortunato actually nailed the spring rates really close. Okay. But there's some things that should be changed. This is a great segue into some of the stuff we're working on behind the scenes too. I can't wait to chat about that a little bit. But so one of the things that the BRZ does suffer from, and this is all multi-link Subarus, so anything 08 and newer is running on a multi-link suspension in the rear. Okay, they don't have a ton of that suspension was not designed for performance. Not that it doesn't perform well, but the base concept of that suspension was not performance first. It was trunk space first.
Right.
Okay. So with that, the compromise that was made is they put a fairly short shock on it, so it doesn't have a ton of travel. One of the things that Fortune has done recently, and we're going to be working with them on doing cool stuff like this, is they've made an extended top hat. And that extended top hat allows them to put a little longer stroke in it, and that does wonders, because the more distance you have for your shock to control speed, the less harsh it needs to be.
So those top hats are a permanent modification, right? That's cutting and doing things like that?
Bolt in, baby!
Bolt in, interesting.
So you guys are getting we are currently developing some really cool stuff with Fortunato. And we're going to have an off-the-shelf product that'll be a joint venture between Fortunato and IAG that you're going to be able to purchase a really nice set of coilovers straight off the shelf. We're looking at making a nice street version and a nice track version. The streets will come first.
Another thing I'd like to know is, how does it compare to a regular suspension or the TS suspension?
We're going to find out. There's going to be some testing. We're going to be testing it here soon. Fortune's currently making some stuff happen for us. So I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to be talking about that. Better than Cygnus, man.
You said the word. Don't edit that out. Bleep it out.
Bleep it. Bleep it.
Pox on your house.
Oh, I don't know if Jordan can go back and bleep that or not, but bleep. Why
please.
You gotta say that? Why you get me worked up? Yes, it's gonna be better than said company that we don't speak about in here.
Gosh. Well, if you need a BRZ TS for testing, you let me know. I'd love to take a road trip. Finally take a vacation from work.
We're starting with we have our own BRZ in house. I would be interested to. I think that's going to be one of those situations where, remember how we were having a conversation of, let's get a bunch of us out to tail the dragon?
Yep.
I think that's going to be where we're going to do that.
Perfect. Count me in. I will try to make it happen.
So either way, we're going to be doing some cool testing next week too. Don't let me forget. I want to talk about that. That is some very exciting stuff also. So either way,
we talked about BRZs versus Porsches.
I think it can be done. No, going back to the BRZ versus Porsche, I really think it can be done. I think a lot of it is maybe the conversation that we're having today is more about when we modify vehicles, I think we overdo it.
100% agree. You know me.
Okay, and this is coming from somebody who is a consummate overdoer. And when you buy a Porsche, all of the doing has been done for the most part. And that is this is a company that its entire purpose in life is to strike that balance. Okay? And when you experience a little of what that balance should be, it makes you look at some of the other stuff you've been doing to vehicles for years and maybe think about approaching it slightly differently. Now, I'm not saying I before couldn't help somebody make a great street suspension, but I personally would like to go through and build a different. It almost makes me want to rip my BRZ apart and rethink the whole thing, but it's so close to exactly what I need for my race car. A lot of us, I think, are trying to build race cars for the street.
Yep.
And what we should be doing is building experience cars.
I totally agree. Yeah. Street cars are a very different philosophy from race cars. I think Japan probably has a better idea about this than Americans. Americans just want more power, more everything, and they turn it into race cars for the street. So I'm guilty of this as much as anybody else. But
I think all of us are. And a lot of it comes from, us growing up too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We've grown up a little bit, and we rethink stuff, but especially with the new BRZ, just some minor tuning, a minor, it doesn't even have to be a loud exhaust, but a minor exhaust, with some minor tuning, you can pick up a good chunk of power. It gets you, there's enough power there to where you're not going, man, this thing feels ungodly underpowered.
Right.
But it'd be very easy to stick some ridiculous suspension, some ridiculous wheels and tires, and make the car no longer fun. And I think that's some of the approach that we're going to be taking with the suspension is we're trying to make the experience there without a lot of the drawbacks. And one of the things that happens when you start getting a little rowdy with suspension, especially on multi-link cars, is you can make them ride like ass really fast because they don't have some of it comes down to just, travel. And by just increasing travel, you can improve the ride without having to go nuts. So you don't have to use as much, as many clicks on your dampener to slow it down.
Sure.
It's that car can ride better and still handle great. I'm really excited about what we're doing with that.
Yeah, me too.
But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just madly in love with that damn car.
You can be that too.
Really,
I mean,
I really wish I can't. Oh my god, I'm about to say something just sacrilegious as fuck. No, I can't say it. I can't because it's got back seats. I don't know if you know my rule. Have you heard my rule on what's
rule. Yes,
my rule? My rule still stands. Okay.
Okay. Tell the audience what's your rule.
The rule is if the car is newer than a 1980. Okay. If it is, if how to explain this? If it has 4 seats, if it has 4 seats and a convertible, it's immediately not cool. Okay? If they make a hardtop version of that car at all, and you're running the convertible, it is not cool. Okay?
Yep.
Now, there are exceptions to this rule, but those two things, you'll understand why it doesn't. So like an S2000, that's still cool. Why is it cool? Because they don't make a hardtop version of that car. And it's only got 2 seats. It doesn't have back seats.
Miata? All Miatas are cool? Same thing.
Miatas are cool. Okay?
2
in their own strange way. You have to be, securing your masculinity. But a Camaro convertible, a Mustang convertible, not cool.
Dude, if I was 5'9", I'd be driving a Miata. I wouldn't have never met you. Butterfly effect would have been very different. But I'm 5'19". I don't fit. That's why I drive a BRZ. Here we are.
Like I said, if they make a hardtop version, a real hardtop version, I am not talking about let's say the Miata with that kind of hardtop Miata with the retractable roof one that's heavier than the standard Miata. That ain't cool.
Really?
Oh, not cool.
I like the way it looks, but
ain't cool.
It's less sporty.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
All right. Okay. I don't make the rules.
And now if you're older than a 1980, all those rules are thrown out because that's a lead sled anyway. And that's cool because it's an old car and it's its own thing. And your back seats are the size of a swimming pool. It's different. Different type of cool. So
different world, different rules.
Now, the Boxster does not count with that, 1, because it does not have back seats, and 2, a Boxster is a separate model. Okay? The Cayman and the Boxster, while they share this, they're different models. So it does not count. Now, a 911 on the other hand, a 911 on the other hand has back seats.
But there's no drop-top 911s.
Oh, there's plenty of drop-top 911s.
Wait, what?
Oh my God, are you shitting me?
911 convertible?
Oh yeah,
what?
Piles of them. Heaps.
Today I learned.
They're the ones that nobody wants, but they exist.
Oh, that's why I've put it out of my memory banks, because it shouldn't exist.
I'm sorry, Targas aren't cool. Targas aren't cool.
It just doesn't look right. Cool. I pulled it up on Google. It's just
exactly.
Why does this exist? Oh.
People are like, well, you should get a 911. The only reason it's not cool. It's not cool. Okay, a Boxster's cool. Wow. A 911 convertible is not cool. I said it. Okay.
I'm forgetting I saw that. That's gross. Okay.
Now you've learned. It happened.
I've been learned.
All right. So going back to this, that's the rule for a convertible. If you guys want to understand what the situation is, that's the rule. A 914 is cool. Fight me. First off, that's earlier than a 1980. Okay.
Oh gosh.
And it didn't have back seats. So
it looks like a Honda Civic Del Sol.
Oh man.
Oh no, it looks like an MG.
We need to have a conversation about our Del Sol's cool. That's falling into a weird area because is it a Civic or not?
All right, let's have it out real quick. So I think the answer is yes. The problem with Hondas in general.
I'm gonna have to say the answer is no.
Really?
I'm gonna, because I've owned one and loved it, had a great time, but some of the reason I enjoyed that car was because it was kind of tongue in cheek. Okay.
Oh,
but
you're asking, is it cool? Okay. Is it cool?
Is it
no.
cool? I don't
is
think
it
it's
a good
cool.
car? I'm answering the wrong question. Is it a good car?
I'm also gonna preface this with, yeah, it's a Honda and it's reliable and it's got it, but is it a good car? Let me tell you a story about when I owned this car. I lived in North Carolina, okay, and I had this really sandy driveway that had these like tufts of grass that would pop through. All right. Okay. And I came in with the top off one time, and one of my front wheels got on one of these tufts of grass, and the chassis flexed so much that my interior light came on.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's horrible.
And that car was literal hundreds of pounds heavier than a Civic hatch.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, it isn't cool.
It's heavy? How much is it?
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy compared to a Civic hatch. And the chassis rigidity is comically terrible.
2,500 pounds.
And you're probably looking at the base model. You're not even looking at I had a Del Sol VTEC. So I had the B16A from the factory. It was cool.
That's the
but it's still not
end.
Cool. But it's still not cool.
Okay. All right, Dewey.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you.
So I guess now let's take another step back. Okay. We did convertibles. Let's talk about, are wagons cool?
So fun cars are supposed to have
who are they cool for? Dylan wants to come on, but I have, you're not allowed to say shit, Dylan, until I've made my point, okay?
I'm gonna say no, but you can say your piece.
I think wagons are cool, but the right person has to be driving them. Okay, and it has to be done in the correct fashion. Okay.
Okay.
So wagons, if the only way they make it is a wagon, it's immediately cool. Okay.
Yeah, I agree
but
with
if
that.
there's a sedan version, then it needs to be caveats to it, because in most cases, the chassis itself, if you're doing it for performance reasons, the wagon will be either heavier or structural rigidity will not be as high. Okay? But is it cool? We're
only talking about cool.
We're only talking about cool. And if you're going into this with, almost like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, is it cool? I think it's cool to see like a wagon on track. Okay? And I also think it's cool to see a modified one out doing things. I think it's cool, and I love the utility of it. I think it's cool. I think it's, and that's, I get that. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Now, with that stated, is it the right answer? In most cases, absolutely not. But that's one of the reasons it's kind of cool.
It's
all right. Tell me all about it, Dylan, because Dylan has a what year is it? 2005 Outback.
It's 05 Outback XT.
Yep. So it's a legacy-based Outback. So it's huge.
Yeah, it's
but
big.
It's lowered and awesome. I think it's cool.
Roof and the leather seats and the
it's cool, but it ain't a track car.
It's gonna be.
I'm not saying you can't use it for one, but it's not it would be better. Time-wise, if we're just talking about going fast is cool, it's not the right answer for turning the fastest lap time, but that doesn't make it not cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, cool factor. So, I mean, I have been to festivals in my car and slept in the back of it. I've been camping in the back of it. I've been through the mountains of West Virginia with it and then camped out of the back of it. Usually all my friends have lack of supplies because they're in a Camaro or a 240 and they don't have much stuff. I got my wagon. I got all my stuff. Had a great day on the roads. And then, cooler full of beer and all the food that I could want because I have a wagon. So I'm just saying it's pretty cool. I'm trying to figure out how to design a roll cage for it and maintain the wagonness of it. It's not looking good. It's going to be cool.
Dylan's wagon is cool.
I was waiting for you to tell me it wasn't going to be cool.
I'm trying to.
I actually believe it. Once again, I think it's cool.
I'm trying to draw a line here.
It has to be in the right perspective, and that it has to be. It has to be approached correctly. It has to be approached knowing 100% that it is the wrong answer for performance.
Well,
but that's okay.
How about a CTS-V wagon?
The sedan is going to be faster,
and it's
in
nicer
every
looking.
way. I'm with you, but the sedan is the better option.
I don't know.
It just is. It just is. It's lighter in discussion, and it's more structurally rigid. Tell me one in any world why a CTS-V wagon is a better answer. Other than it's just cool because it's a wagon.
Well, it's cool.
And I'm okay with that. But do you agree with my conversation about convertibles are not cool?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm
how
right
can you
there.
not? I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, I mean, Camaro with a convertible.
Hey, you might not even like this either, but Corvettes, even though they're two-seaters, they aren't cool because they make a hardtop version.
Oh, no. I'm 100% with you right there.
They're not cool.
The hardtop, I mean, I can take my roof off and put it in the trunk, and that's about as much convertible as I want.
Yes.
But personally, hardtop Corvette, it's the only way to go.
Yes.
Yep, I agree.
Now, the new C8s are hardtop, and they fold into the trunk.
Yes. I have no problems with Targa tops. Now, 911s with Targas, I'm sorry, I just don't think they're cool. You should get a hardtop 911. But I can understand the Corvette in that situation. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to be mad at me about that. Is the 911 Targa cool or not? And you know what? Whatever. If you think it's cool, I'm not going to dock you points for that. But the convertible, 100% is not cool. It just isn't. It's not okay.
Cool factor. I don't know. People think Lamborghinis are cool because they're Lamborghinis. You know, not because they're fast, but because they look fast. And I don't just associate fast with hatchbacks or wagons. I associate them with really good cars and they're practical, like Dylan said. But we're talking cool factor. This is a poster going on your wall.
Warranty, you need to drive my Outback.
Your Outback is going to be really cool. I already know it because you built it. It's yours. It's going to be. Yeah, I'm talking about as a category. Wagons. I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like wagon can be.
So do you think? Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about wagon in that direction then. Are they just categorically not cool unless some effort is put in? Then we're allowed to renegotiate, because I think like a Volvo V70R is cool, but a basic V70 is not cool.
Images. Oh yeah, this one. Would I put that on my wall? No, I'm not putting that poster. No. But wall.
It doesn't mean it's not cool. It's kind of cool. I would drive that around.
I agree to disagree. It's not my favorite, but I bet a built one would be cool.
What about like an RS6 Avant?
Cool. Okay, I'm sorry. It's cool. It's cool.
I don't like it. It's a very good looking car, but they're so heavy. I just cannot get down with those cars. I don't like. I think
that's one of the reasons it is cool. Is like and that car can do everything. You know what I mean? That can be the everything to all people car. And I think that's one of the reasons it's cool.
Yeah, see, I gotta be honest, I didn't like wagons until I owned one. And I was really apprehensive about owning one. It was just time and place, it worked out, and I owned a wagon.
And maybe a hatchback, man. I could.
No, I love hatches, and this is not. So this conversation are 08 to 14 GR STI hatchbacks cool? Yes. Okay, they just are. Fight me. I'm sorry. That falls under hatch and not wagon. That's different. Wagon is different.
I personally don't like hatchback STIs. Forget about their that generation was a little bit squishy and things like that. The wing is very important, and I personally like sedans a lot better. Wing or not.
I don't agree with that. The first time I saw one of those things with their crazy ass fender flares on a hatch, and like I was just in love with it. I think those cars look more proportioned as a hatch than they do as a sedan.
Okay. I accept your argument, but I don't like the new GR Corolla either. Is everything's wrong when I look at that.
I think that too.
Yeah. I don't like the way it looks.
What are we talking to? Warranty? Jesus,
I'm serious. I like hatchbacks for practicality, but it's not cool.
Norm's wing was cool on his hatch. Okay.
Norm's wing was cool. Yeah.
I like a hatch without a wing. Like I like the little ductile spoiler. That's it. Yep, and that V70R that Josh Aldrich just put in teal. Chef's kiss.
That thing's 100 feet long.
It's so good. That's the same length as Dylan's car.
Oh man, it's just so big.
There's a whole lot of car.
I drive a BRZ. I drive a very different car for very different, times in your life.
I agree.
I could cram an unbelievable amount of cargo into that.
You know how awesome
for how big it is.
I have 2 kids. That would be awesome to be able to drive up to Michigan at 100-mile-an-hour clip with all-wheel drive through any amount of weather with all the shit in the back. Yeah. Then be able to sit in the back seat. I love it. In fact, there is a legacy GT wagon on Cars and Bids right now that I've been following that's going to go for really fucking cheap. Oh my, I bet you it's about to end.
Okay, what you just described, that's very cool. Along with what Dylan said.
Wagon.
That is very cool, but not all wagons are cool. Wagons are just the utility.
Wagons are a hard thing to make cool, but I think when they are cool, they're really cool.
$6,300. These guys stole it. It was a manual legacy GT wagon with like a VF52 and just some goodies.
Now, would I want to drift a wagon? No.
Yes.
Do I want like a Grand Tourer? Maybe. Different story.
Let's take another step back. Drifting is all about show. Okay?
Yes.
It's literally entirely about the presentation. Okay? It really has. Don't get me wrong. You need performance to do it, and it takes a ton of skill. And I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but in the end of the person looking at drifting and trying to enjoy drifting as a spectator, it's about the show.
Right.
And I believe a wagon can achieve that as good or maybe even better than your typical sports car can, just because it's so crazy. There's so much power out there swinging around. I think it's awesome.
That is cool, but I don't want to drift one. I don't want to take a wagon to the track either, because it just
I don't know how much I love the concept of a wagon terrassing around a track. I don't know how much I'd actually like it, but it's cool in the concept that it can do it.
Yeah, I
wouldn't want to do it every weekend, but I would like once a year, twice a year, go to the Subaru Speed Expo or whatever. I'm gonna go rip laps in the wagon. I love the concept that I could take my entire wheel tire combo, shove it in the back, and still have plenty of room for everything I need to sleep and whatever, plus one other person. Cool. That's cool.
But you'd have more fun in a Miata or a BRZ or a 911 hardtop or something that's awfully unpractical. And finding the balance between those two is the cool part. That's why I like the BRZ.
Hear me out. I'm trying to figure out a way, if it's even possible, for me to put 4 seats into the wagon. And so that way I can have me and 3 other people in it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Drift taxis are sick.
Super cool. I'd like to see you do one more and stick another set of seats behind that. How sick would that be? There's not enough room. You know what?
Oh, man. Put the third row backwards. God, that would be sick.
Yes. You get sick doing that. It'd be awesome.
That's way cool. Not even cool.
Just do it like, Dylan, just build it like the Pope Mobile, my guy. Like where it's got an elevated section in the back.
I would need a bigger. It would have to be bigger. The car would have to be bigger, because even though it's a wagon and it's big, it's not that big. I'm gonna have a hard time right now putting another set of seats in the rear of the car.
Yeah, like proper race seats. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I know. Okay. I'm just. How sick would that be if it was like literally a proper, like third row seating? That'd be sick. Somebody needs to get one of those old like woody panel, like 80s big ass Buicks, with the backwards seats and shit, and turn that into a drift car. Like
100% agree. That would be sick.
Like a Caprice.
Yep.
It's got third row seating and it just gobs of power. Just all the damn power. Do some 1,500 horsepower, 2 turbos monstrosity thing. And just throw people around in that. Be the best. Oh, man. Okay. We went a little off topic there, but I mean, what we're so far off what the topic was supposed to be today, it doesn't even matter. We're
supposed to talk about wheels. Here we are, talking about everything.
We're 100% opening the floor to anybody who wants to chat. I would love to hear your thoughts on what's cool and what's not. But in the end, I don't know if we actually answered a single question here. But a 981 Porsche Boxster is extremely good, and you can really, really feel the DNA of a. You can feel there's no way that wasn't taken into account when designing the BRZ's chassis. Okay, bringing Chaos Dreams on.
Okay, I am going to drop. I got to get back to work.
Oh,
same there.
I'm sorry. See you guys later.
Adios.
Mr. Chaos Dreams, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
Yes. What is your name? At least, wow, I'm proud of you. You can figure out Discord.
I work in IT, so yes. If I didn't, I'd be very sad. Anyway,
so what's your real name, Mr. Chaos Dreams?
My real name is Devon.
Okay.
Arizona. But
what's up, sir?
Chaos Dreams is a whole thing. Anyway, not much. Just first off, thank you for making this podcast. I am a long-time listener, first-time caller. I did it. So what can we talk about? Maybe Subaru bringing a truck platform in, like the Platypus, aka the Brat, or the what was the other one?
Well, there's a few different things that hold them back from doing that. You understand that, right?
I don't, and that's why I figured to ask.
No, here I'll be more than happy to like kind of clue you in some of the things that hold them back. So, have you ever heard of the chicken tax?
Educate me. No.
Oh, okay. Long story short, and I don't 100% know. There's a whole. If you go look up the chicken tax, it'll all explain. But this is the reason you don't see small, foreign trucks here in the States at all anymore. Is because there's like insane taxes, dealing with them. It's the reason that you don't get like small Nissan pickups and small Toyotas and things like that, Daihatsus. Things that would actually probably work really good in a city situation of being able to drive around and, deliver things, for cheap and do stuff like that. The chicken tax has ruined small trucks in the States. Basically, if they're not made entirely in the United States, which most small trucks aren't, to include trucks that are made here in the States. Actually, the thing that he just posted up, Dylan just posted up a great video of the Fat Electrician, who is a great YouTuber. If you ever get a chance, check him out. He's hilarious. But he posted up, he did a whole thing on the chicken tax and how that works. And long story short, it is very expensive for a foreign company to bring a small truck in here due to a massive tariff that gets applied. Well, it's not even a tariff, it's straight up tax, which is kind of a tax, but either way, they apply just gross fees to them, and they would be freakishly expensive to even try to sell here, so you can't really sell them. That's why we don't get cool small trucks here anymore. If you don't like it, hit up your local politicians and shake some trees, because I think the United States could, instead of having to purchase giant ass trucks to do very menial tasks, we should be able to do them really small trucks. It's also one of the reasons you're starting to see now that 25-year-old rule is hit. there are people importing boatloads of those little K trucks, those little 60 horsepower things, and ripping them around in small cities to do small tasks. Yeah, I bet you're starting to see them everywhere. So the chicken tax is really stupid. And really should end, but that's the reason we don't see it. If that were to get opened up, I guarantee you'd see things like, Utes and Bajas and all sorts of stuff here. But that's why we don't have any of that. The whole company of Daihatsu, yeah. Subaru still makes all sorts of small things like that. I would love to see it. Now, have you seen people doing truck conversions on Imprezas, like especially the GD chassis? Yes. There's actually kits out there for it. I think those are sick. Those definitely fall under cool. Okay, if somebody's gonna take an old like GD chassis or GC chassis and convert it to a truck, like a Ute conversion, totally down with that. It definitely falls under cool. Okay, fight me. I think those are sick. Whether you home make it or you get a kit to do it, there are a couple of companies out there making kits for those. I think those are cool. But yeah, the chicken tax is the biggest reason we don't have it. If you ever wondered.
Yes, I did wonder.
Watch that video; it's really good. Yeah, it's highly enlightening.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, boss. I'm gonna kick you out of here. Yep, anytime, dude. All right, any more callers? That's a great. If you guys ever wondered, that's why. Man, this episode went all sorts of strange directions. I'm down to answer any other questions. If not, I think we're gonna call it. So you got another few seconds in the chat. And if you guys ever want to be a part of our chat, if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, and you want to be a part of this, we record every week on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in our Discord, the IAG Performance Discord. All you have to do is come on in there, and it's open for anybody. And we got all sorts of cool stuff we're doing with the Discord now. We're going to try to do some new stuff. I think we're going to try to get some community stuff going, maybe playing some games, maybe fight for some democracy. And, we'll see where that goes, those who are down for the democracy. But yeah, anybody who wants to come on in, this is where it's at. And it helps us if you guys share this, so then we can get more people in here and we can do new stuff. And I love having a pile of people in here answering questions, whatever the questions might be. These kind of Ask Dewey segments have been pretty good, especially as of late. But I think we're gonna get maybe a Helldiver thing going. Dylan actually tossed this out there once that maybe we should do it too, where we'll do some maybe like a leaderboard for maybe Forza. If you guys would be down to mess around with that. I do a bunch of iRacing personally, but I'd be down to mess around with whatever. Get a little time attack leaderboard thing going. I think that'd be fun. Enjoyed the discussion. Thanks for Smeedia for that comment. Mr. Fuji, when are you going to Guatemala? That was never even on my radar, but I'm down. Figured I'd come in, congratulate you. Always thinking you and your time, dude. Hey man, dude, it sounds like you're going through some stuff, but your build is looking great, and I really hope we can we can help out here in any way. Big hug, man. Yeah, same back at you, man. For real. Question is, who can I get to wire my car by any of you if possible? And then your Xbox gamer tag. I think what we're going to do is we might make a section where we can put up Xbox gamer tags or something. Maybe have a couple of different games. Then everybody put up like because in Helldivers, you have a number you can put up and then everybody can add each other, and that should be a really good time. But as far as wiring your car, man, that's a tough one. What I tell you to do is, we're probably not actually the people you want to ask. I would tell you to get a hold of iWire in the States. I think it's just iWire.com. Let me double check for you, make sure I'm not feeding you. iWire.com. Nope. Is their website. iWireUSA.com is who you need to get a hold of. iWireUSA.com. Get a hold of them. Those guys have the ability to put any form of wiring harness stuff together. They've longtime Subaru community gurus. Great dudes. Go chat with them. Okay. Hit them up about getting your wiring done. Yeah, if you're doing more motorsports oriented wiring too, you also have Sam who can definitely do that. I'm not sure what you're trying to put together there, but if you're just trying to get, said Subaru with said Subaru engine and make that make sense, they're your guys. Can you guys get someone from ProTune or Vermont Sports Car on the podcast? VSC is actually something I've wanted to talk to a few of those guys before, and I'm kind of working on that. So let me get back to you on that. Would you guys really? You guys are really stoked about maybe getting some Vermont Sports Car guys, like the techs or some people behind the scenes at Vermont Sports Car on here. I'd be super stoked to have them on if you guys are. You just let me know. Pro Drive's going to be a little harder, mostly because they're in the UK, and honestly, that's tough. That'd be a tough one. Bucky or Pastrana would be dope to hear from. Pastrana's going to be rough. Bucky, I might be able to get something to happen with that. So, Dylan's saying he might be able to make something happen. I'm assuming with Vermont. He knows some guys up there at VSC. Has anyone done a BRZ manifold on a WRX with a 72 millimeter gram throttle body? Also, Crest CNC. Crest CNC, that might be something we can look at too, but they're in Australia, so the time frame is a little rough, but I'm not saying we can't make that happen. BRZ manifold on a WRX. The problem with seeing a lot of the BRZ manifolds on WRXs is you also then need a way to control the port injection. I don't know if anybody's done it with a gram throttle body yet. I don't know. I don't know if that's been done yet or not. So I'd have to dig around. Can I rent an IAG tech or expect... I'm done till I get my... Sorry, boss. That's going to be a rough one. You could always just maybe toss the car on a trailer and drag it all the way to Chicago. 6-Star Motorsports is real good at building the kind of cars you're trying to build. So that's an option. IAG certified engine installer up there in Chicago area. 72 minutes. I don't know about the wiring. I haven't seen anybody pull it off yet. So sorry, boss. Yeah, try it. Try it and see what happens. It's going to need tuning though. Are you planning on running that on a Motec or something like that? Because if you are, that changes stuff a little bit, and basically anything can be done then. So you got options. But I haven't personally seen that yet. That's actually a good question. And I'd like to see how that turns out. So let me know what you do find. Larger throttle bodies tend to not be a thing you need to worry about. They start making some pretty serious horsepower though. So don't do it if you're looking for you're at 400 and you're looking for another 10 horsepower or something. That's not when you do that. Larger throttle bodies on Subarus really don't start becoming a thing till after about 500, where you're going to see any real gains. You should be at 600. Well, I mean, 600 horsepower. Now you're starting to talk. It makes sense. Closed deck G3900. Okay, yeah. So Benjamin's putting together something pretty serious. So you could see some gains. Yeah. Like Dylan said, there isn't many of us. You got to understand, we don't IAG doesn't really do a lot of labor in-house anymore, so not really something we're going to do too much of. We don't have a whole lot of techs, and the ones we do have are so busy they can't see straight, Dylan. I want to try to see if I can get it to work with Cobb. Benjamin, I'm going to tell you flat out, no. This is a conversation I've had with many people. Okay? Long story short, you have to add some sort of port injection. Okay? You can't add port injection using a Cobb. At least not reliably. Okay? There's some weird ways to do it. You are looking at putting a Motec on the car. M-Tron doesn't have something ready for it yet. Yeah, I don't know who's telling you these things. You need to have a conversation with a couple of different tuners. Okay? Long story short, you can't add port injection unless you have some sort of way to control those injectors. A Cobb cannot control those injectors. This is why you don't see 600 horsepower, 15 to 21 WRXs running around all over the place. Now, with that stated, the IBR secondary controller has its issues. Okay, for a street car, you might be able to get that to run okay-ish. You're still going to throw check engine lights. But it's how that's functioning. It's not going to be a track car. Let's put it that way. You might be able to get away with it on a street car. I'd highly recommend you really need to look into a Motec. Okay, you really, really need to look into a Motec. You need something that can properly control that. An M-Tron, they don't have like an off-the-shelf M-Tron, but there should be an M-Tron. One of the M-Tron levels should be able to pull it off too. M-Tron or a Motec, you've got to go to higher end engine management. Okay, this isn't going to be done with a Haltech. This isn't going to be done with a Link or something like that. It doesn't exist yet. I'm not saying it isn't coming, but it doesn't exist yet. Here soon, Link, they just got done making a BRZ, like the older BRZ, so the BRZ FT86, FA20 plug and play ECU, and if any company can pull it off, it's going to be them to do it for a reasonable price. So keep your eyes peeled. Had a DSM, so I don't. Yeah, I get that, but it's rough. Ooh, Smeedia wants to talk, I suppose. Fight? What's up? Celebrity all up in here. Oh, well, his audio doesn't work either. Fine, bring Smeedia on. Now he doesn't even talk. So, while he figures that out, I'll keep trying to answer. Oh, now he tried to do video. Now he's muted. I see you, but I can't hear you. He's running around in a Porsche? Are you in a Porsche right now? I hate you. Yeah, I can't hear you, though. Can't hear you. No hearing. Sorry. Nope. This is dumb. It's probably the same problem that Ryan was having. I don't know what to tell you, my guy. Disconnect the Bluetooth? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'd love to have you on. We could have a great time. Ben needs to become friends with his tuner and get that recipe. I'm sure there's something to it. Man, I hope he figures that out. That'd be fun. Probably his Bluetooth connected to... No, I don't think so. Put a shoe on your head if you were real. Okay, let's try it one more time. Check. Yes! There he is!
Did it work?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm trying not to curse. I'm sorry, I curse a lot.
No, you're fine. Dude, F-bombs are not a problem on this, as long as it's just not long cussing rants. We're not getting fucked up by YouTube like you are.
YouTube don't get me, it's TikTok.
Oh,
that's why I never post on TikTok.
Yeah,
YouTube doesn't really care as long as it's not in the first 20 seconds.
TikTok doesn't like car content.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, we should have you on just cuz. I'd love to hear your background.
I'm down.
Yeah, why don't we plan that in the next couple of weeks? So are you running around in a Porsche right now?
Yeah, I'm pulling into my shop. I'm in my 911 Turbo.
Dick, look at you. Do you drive with your pinky up?
My what?
Your pinky, because you got to be
My
fancy.
Oh, always, man. That's an old clapped out 996 Turbo. It's the one that everyone hates.
Yeah, but it's still awesome, isn't it?
It is fun. I have a blast in this car. I've been daily driving this thing for a while now.
It's so great. I love it. So, you got something to add on this whole situation with the 15 WRX and trying to make 600 horsepower?
Yeah, don't do it. Just buy an STI.
There's a recipe to get that done on an STI, no problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
on the WRXs, it becomes a money pit. You need either an ECU or a fuel add-on, or then you're messing with like meth or all this other stuff, and things just get sketchy, and you don't have a whole bunch of fail-safes.
$10,000 minimum investment just to start.
Yeah, so it's just not worth it. Then you need the entire fuel system, and it's like your only
let's
option.
say you've made the power. Now you need a proper 6-speed to hold it.
That's true. That's true. Axles, hubs, diff, driveline.
So I got to be real. I tell everybody this, and I love you, Benjamin. I want to help you. I want to see you through this. Okay, I really do. But anybody who calls me and says they want to do this, I just tell them to call it quits at 400. Okay, with those cars, because
FAs are great dailies for like sub 400 horsepower.
Yeah,
they're great, and they're like awesome track cars for sub 400.
They're reliable. They're great. Like, it's awesome. A 15 WRX of 400 wheel is awesome.
It's a hot take, but I say the same thing about the 22 plus WRXs as well. After owning two and looking into them, you run into the same problems. Anything that's direct injected, you're looking at a Motec or eventually an M-Tron when M-Tron comes out with it. But you're still looking at so much money just to make that power.
I agree. Now, I think stuff is coming that's going to help these guys a ton, but I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And
it's
like,
just not worth it.
Like, I think Link is going to have something around $2,000 that'll be plug and play in the not too distant future. But it ain't here now.
I'm curious on that one because they never did anything with the VAs.
Well, they didn't do anything with the VAs because a lot of these companies didn't do anything with any of these companies or any of these cars because Cobb just had such a lock on it, it didn't make any sense. So they didn't invest any time on it. Well, you go talk to these guys now and they're coming out with all sorts of crazy shit. The thing that gives me hope is they just now made a plug and play ECU for the older FA20 BRZs and stuff.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that just happened. Like, that was if you ever get a chance, dude, you got to come to PRI. They were a whole conversation with them at PRI about it, and like they had it on display there. So that's
nice.
That's a thing. So if that happened, it wouldn't be hard because there's so much software they can manipulate on the back end of that maybe you can grab the fuel injector controller off of a BRZ and somehow make that semi plug and play, make a easy wiring harness like iWire, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. I could see that happening. Or they just make it all one integrated unit, put the injector controller right on the board, charge you $2,500 for it, whatever, and give you some flying leads to some port injectors.
Right, that'd actually be a nice pickup right there.
Dude, it changed that entire platform. That entire platform to get looked at differently.
Because before you were limited to like ECU tech or open flash tablets for the BRZs and the FRSs and whatnot.
Yes. Well, I'm saying like if they adapted that to a 15 WRX.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Or you could make flying leads up to the the injectors. You just use a BRZ manifold. Now we're talking $2,500 for the ECU. The whole thing could be done for under $5,000, adding port injection in a way that would make me go, okay, this ain't bad. Well, and
but I feel like if you're at that $5,000 point, you might as well just spend the extra $2,500, $3,000 on a Motec. You're already right there.
There's more to it with a Motec though, because then you're talking with a it ain't gonna be just $2,500 because it's not very plug and play. Okay,
that's true. I mean, you can get the 14.1 solution adapter, but then I know you also need the software from John Reed, which is wildly expensive.
You are, by the time it's said and done with all the shit, you're gonna have somewhere between 10 and 12 minimum, and we're talking a third of that to do it with a Link. And
yeah, you're right.
That changes the equation. a lot.
That does bring it down significantly for a lot of people. Because that barrier to entry trying to add it is so expensive for like 95% of people, I'll say.
But with that stated, I got to throw it out there. If you do that, it ain't emissions legal. If you're anywhere where they're, sniffing or whatever, this is race car parts, okay?
Yeah, I dabble that line too frequently.
We all do. Your pencil, I've shared your pencil holder thing so many times.
It gets the job done.
Videos. Oh, it's one of my favorite things. I love it so
much. It works. I got to deal with not so fun problems now. I don't think I've said it publicly yet, but I don't really care. But I'm pretty sure I toasted the head gasket on the 6-cylinder this weekend.
Oh,
that's a fun one.
Was it fun till it happened though?
Oh, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast.
When you're doing grown ass man shit.
Things
are gonna happen.
Yeah, it's PN. Now I'm selling my 07 so I can buy a truck to be able to trailer these things around.
Dude, the best modification I ever made to my track Subarus was buying my F-150.
Dude, it takes all the worry out of, because you don't have to drive the car to the track, then kind of baby it at the track and then drive home. Now you can just go there, beat the hell out of it, and then just trailer it back, whether it breaks or not.
You're guaranteed you're going to get home with no drama, whether the car runs or not, okay?
Right.
If you're getting serious about doing track shit, one of the best mods you can make is a truck.
At minimum a truck, because you can rent trailers up until you buy a trailer, but you need the truck.
Yes, and the truck, you don't even have to get a crazy truck. You can get a freaking $5,000 Chevy from the early 2000s. It'll pull your car, no problem. You don't
100%.
have to get nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want a giant dually diesel or whatever, but you don't need much.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a game changer because now I get to try to find a way to not use MLS gaskets on the Subaru, because that's a problem. I'm using MLS gaskets at 55 psi, and that thing is MLS gasket should be used at 55 psi.
Hold on.
Holding.
Do you have a EG33?
Yeah.
Okay. What bore size is that?
I'd have to double check. I had to have custom pistons made by CP. I know it's I'm not going to say way smaller. It's definitely smaller than the EJ pistons. I want to say it's in the 86 range.
No, it's like tiny.
It's not huge. I'd have to pull out my spare block and measure it off the top of my head.
It'd be EJ20 size-ish or near it.
It's EJ22 size.
Okay, so you're talking like 92? Well, no, it'd be a 94? For an EJ22, it'd be something like that. Either way, well, what I was wondering is if we have EJ20 firelocks, so the rings exist. I wonder if we could make something happen.
Yeah, I've been talking with JE. I've been talking to a couple companies out in Australia because we're at this point. I'm just trying to machine the block and the heads.
Yeah,
and just be able to do it properly. But
what are you doing for head studs on it?
I have 1/2-inch out front studs.
I mean, it's getting you close. Might be time for 14 mils.
We can't go 14 mil. That's the problem because we did a cutaway on my old one because we went too far on the torque value of head studs before and we cracked the block. And then out front did a cutaway of that engine and there's not enough meat in the block to be able to go up to a 14 mil from a 1/2-inch. We compared it from an EJ over to an EG and the material thickness is so thin at the end of where those studs are that if we go any bigger, it's just going to crack the block again. That's the problem with doing like one-off engines.
This is what happens when you do grown ass man shit. Like
you got to figure everything out.
Yeah, when you're on the bleeding edge. That's what it is, man, and I get it.
Yep. It's fun though. That's the whole point of it. It's fun doing something new, doing something.
If you're having fun, and like this is one thing I can't stress enough. If you're having a good time doing it, then who the fuck cares?
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
If I wasn't having fun doing it,
like fuck off,
right?
Dude.
If I wasn't having fun with it, I wouldn't tear this car apart 500 times.
Exactly. So,
granted, I don't necessarily enjoy it every single time, but
no,
it's part of the fun factor.
No, and we enjoy following you. It all falling apart on you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it makes great content.
It's all right. It does. I'm taking a slight break from the Subaru stuff for a little while. I'm playing with some rotary action.
Yeah, I saw that.
Almost as reliable as Subarus.
Almost. So, man, well, I think like probably not next week, but the week after, if you've got time, that'd be sick, dude. Just chat it up, talk about,
just
where
slide in my
the
DMs
community's
whenever,
at.
man.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm pretty flexible. I can make most things work. So yeah, just let me know when and slide in my DMs.
Yeah, sounds good, dude.
Perfect. Well, I got Mitch from Melee Battery showing up right now, so I'm gonna have to let you go.
Oh, no shit. Tell him I said hi. See you, man.
I'll tell him. I'll pass the message along. I'll catch you later.
Yep, see you, bud. All right, guys. We're gonna call it there. If you guys are down, I'm definitely down. We'll have Smeedia on. Have a good time. Chat about H6 Subarus and all sorts of silly stuff. It'll be fun. We're done. We're done. It has to be done. We're already way past when things, so I have to end this. So, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. We will do this again at another point. Holy crap! How do I stop this? New program is kicking my ass. Do I got to go all the way to the top? Crap. Jordan, how do I kill it? \stop. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. We will do this again next week, and hopefully we don't have anywhere near the issues we did this week. Okay, love you. Bye.